Alright guys, welcome back to Urge. We are moving on in the Subclass series. We have a brand new book out, the Mythic Odysseys of Theros. So, first up, we have the College of Eloquence Bard. I think this is a very well-made subclass. We talked about this beforehand. But basically, if you're new to the channel or to the subclass series, what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the abilities gained by this subclass, and then we're going to rate the RP value, the combat value, and the overall class synergy based on how the abilities gained in this subclass improve on the base class, in this case, the Bard. So, without any further ado, we're going to jump into this brand new book, brand new subclass. Let's go.
So, starting out at level 3, you get Silver Tongue, Master of Saying the Right Thing at the Right Time. When you make a charisma, persuasion check or charisma deception check, you can treat any d20 roll of a 9 or lower as a 10. So if you're familiar with rules, think of it as the rogue's reliable talent. You get that for 2 different skills, essentially, right there and early on at level 3. So simple enough, but very, very useful.
Yes.
Also at level 3, you get Unsettling Words. As a bonus action, you can expend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration and choose 1 creature you can see within 60 feet. Roll the Bardic Inspiration die. That creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. So you got to think about that. That's going to scale with your Bardic Inspiration die, so you're eventually going to have a D10 and eventually a D12 to throw as a negative debuff onto a given target for a reduction on a saving throw, which is going to make it very difficult, or at least a chance to, very difficult for them to succeed a saving throw against a targeted spell.
So you would actually know what you're going to subtract before the spell is cast on it.
Correct.
So if it's a really big minus, you can be like, we're going
right,
big.
Yeah, because this is your bonus action. You could do this first as your bonus action, as your action, then cast spell of choice.
Yeah, or a D12 and they roll a 12, you're like, minus 12? Let's go big boys.
Or if you know the next person up in combat is is a wizard, is a sorcerer, is a cleric, is a druid, some full caster in your party that's got some big control spell. I mean, the obvious answer is like have something like a dominate monster or dominate person there in hand. You could do that. That's going to be nice.
Yeah, definitely. Then at level 6, we have Unfailing Inspiration. Your inspiring words are so persuasive that others feel driven to succeed. When a creature adds 1 of your Bardic Inspiration dice to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can keep the Bardic Inspiration die.
That is very nice.
Very nice, because essentially you're going to be getting all those times when they use a Bardic... You use one of your class abilities, and it fails. It's like, well, that just goes the use of it. I mean, yeah, you get it back once you're at level 6. You're going to be getting them back every short rest. But still, like, being able to keep it and not have to keep using expended uses, you're just going to be able to be throwing out Bardic Inspiration like crazy.
Yeah,
and
it gives you even less of a worry of using them.
Right, because if they fail, they just get to try again.
Try again, yeah. So like,
maybe next time.
Don't feel bad about giving that barbarian a chance to make those intelligent saving throws, because he can just keep trying with that little bonus until he gets it. Right. First you don't succeed, right?
Also, at level 6, we get Universal Speech. I think it's kind of interesting. I tried to double check because I couldn't remember. Most of the Bard subclasses get like 2 level 3 abilities, a level 6 ability, and a level 14 ability.
Yep.
This subclass gets 2 abilities at level 6, which is pretty interesting. So just keep that in mind. You have gained the ability to make your speech intelligible to any creature. As an action, choose 1 or more creatures within 60 feet of you, up to a number equal to your charisma modifier, minimum of 1 creature. The chosen creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for 1 hour. Once you use the feature, you can use it again to finish a long rest, or unless you expend a spell slot to use it again.
Right.
So the crazy thing about this is, not only does you get a free use per day, you can expend spell slots to use it more often, and it can target creatures up to your modifier.
Yep.
So you could target, if you have a 20 charisma, up to 5 creatures each time you use this. And at level 3, you're getting your, reliable talent for your charisma. So you're like, any creatures, all 5 of you creatures out here, chill. Everything's cool. We're just passing through.
Right.
And you're going to have a minimum of 10 plus your monstrous modifier as a bard, because you get jack of all trades and all your proficiencies and everything. You're going to probably be doing pretty well.
Yeah.
DMs,
I mean,
you
can tell that owlbear he is an herbivore. He don't want meat no more. You just straight up tell him.
You should try change. You should try it out. Change it to vegetarian for a couple days. See how it works.
I thought you put on a little bit too much weight. You probably should just cut back on the red meat a little bit. And he'd believe you.
Yeah.
Because you're a bard. It's what you do. And final level 14, you get Infectious Inspiration. When you successfully inspire someone, the power of your eloquence can now spread to someone else. When a creature within 60 feet of you adds one of your bardic inspiration die to an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself that can hear you within 60 feet and give bardic inspiration die to them without spending any of your bardic inspiration uses. You can use a reaction equal to your charisma modifier, and you get all expended uses back on a long rest. Whew. So, anytime somebody successfully succeeds on a saving throw, which you have then inspired, you get to just give somebody else for free. Little extra twin cast, rebound, however you want, whatever mechanic you want to put behind it. And so it basically makes your bardic inspiration as best as possible. So if they fail, they keep it.
Right.
If they succeed, somebody else gets one. So it's
and then if they fail it,
they get to keep it.
And then if they succeed, you can give it to somebody else. It's crazy.
Yeah, because again, you get them all at level 5. You get them all back on short rest anyway. So you literally can just be like, you can be the Oprah of bardic inspirations. Like, and you get an inspiration. You get it. Oh, he succeeded. See what happens when you inspire those around you. Now you get an inspiration.
There you go.
Pretty much.
All right. Well, that actually summarizes up all of the abilities gained in the subclass. But now we get to move into the fun part, which is the ratings portion of the video. And first up, we have the roleplay value. Now, as always, I have to give the disclaimer here. When we talk about roleplay value, what we are specifically talking about in this video series is the interactions with the world around you, the interactions with NPCs, non-combat scenarios, avoiding combat. We're already anticipating you acting out all of your spells and character fantasy, background, lore, history, all that stuff. We're already anticipating that being used. We're not including that in the score. We're looking purely at how the abilities gained in these subclasses are improving on the base classes mechanically. Again, just trying to...
The rule of thumb there being is if it's not in the book, it does not count toward our score.
Yeah. And also another thing is, if there is no initiative rolled, then it's probably more what we're kind of leaning towards here.
Right. Yeah. Does it involve that
combat?
I need everybody roll initiative.
So basically, non-combat scenarios. That's a really good summary for here. So, that being said, if you noticed, going through all of these abilities, every single one of these abilities is going to have some kind of roleplay value to it because your bardic inspiration can be used for ability checks, which is huge. And then when you can chain ability checks, like, oh, we're going to make a group stealth check here. Okay, you roll first.
You succeeded. Oh,
you get inspiration.
Yeah.
And then I chain it to him, and I chain it to him. So that's pretty cool. You can do all that. Unless your DM's like, hey, you're all rolling at the same time, no chaining. So there's always the DM asterisk there. But that being said,
DMs can be
all of these abilities
awful sometimes.
All of these abilities are going to be RP like potential.
Sure.
Just because they can be used. Bardic Inspiration is probably one of the most versatile kind of class abilities, I think, because it can be used for so many different scenarios. Saving throws, ability checks, attack rolls, all that stuff. So it can be very versatile in how it's used. So definitely very interesting on that side. But with all these abilities having some kind of impact on RP, whether small or big, we had to go with a 5. Just because
pretty much
this subclass is just, I mean, you're a bard. You're going to be, I mean, if you pick a bard for Bardic Inspiration, I mean, this is definitely
this is you right here.
subclass. Like, if that's your whole goal in life, just inspiring those around you, that's where you're at.
Well, it gives you an opportunity to further specialize in what a bard already is good at, which is role play. I mean, giving you a reliable talent both for persuasion and deception checks. You can literally talk your way in and out of almost any scenario, unless you're dealing with somebody who's got just ridiculously high stats to counteract that, which odds are, until you get to the end game, will be unlikely. Because at level 3, you're getting that. It's a little silly that early on.
If you play with a bard, you know how crazy their charisma scores can get, especially with persuasion.
Yeah. Just like rogues with stealth, it's the same concept. It gets a bit silly. Onto the combat side of things, we probably debated a little more than we usually do, kind of get numbers down for this one. I try to keep things a little bit more level if I can. Jameson's like, this is amazing, and he's not wrong. To be honest, he's really not wrong. But I mean, to be honest, this may be the most like strictly support geared subclass we've seen maybe ever, or if not in a long time.
It's in the short list.
But and the Bard is already kind of geared that way anyway. They don't have a ton of offensive spells to work with in their natural spell list, not getting magical secrets and whatnot. But the fact that your Bardic Inspiration can be used for both saving throws defensively and attack rolls offensively. It now can chain for free. If they do fail either the roll, they get to keep it. You don't have to worry about it. You can literally just toss these things out and not really worry about it. Take some of that stress of worrying about, is that worth giving them that at this point? It's like, well, why not? You're going to get some back on a short rest anyway, and they're free everywhere else. Really, the only thing I think that prevented this from being a higher score was the fact that it really doesn't directly impact your offensive ability at all. If you're looking to play a support character, this is it. Like, this is
pretty good. Maybe
the best support-based subclass we've seen in a long time, like I said. But overall, we went with the 4 because, like I said, you can buff your allies in every way possible that you want to, along with to me, my favorite ability is actually the debuff they get of unsettling words, just because Jameson just went right to my heart, and he says, just imagine you're fighting something that you can't do anything to, and then you're like, oh, you got a -12 on your saving throw? Would you like a hold person? I think you would. I have a soft spot for the best spell, best level 2 spell in the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately a 4 because again, any support ability you want there, which your Bard is already kind of geared that way. It makes you super supporty, and makes every group want to have you. In their party
for sure. Yeah, it's never gonna hurt to get that inspiration.
No.
Then lastly, guys, we have the overall class synergy. So when it comes to bards, there's several things that are key to the class, which I would say primarily it is a full spellcaster, so you're going to have lots of access to spells and things. Bardic Inspiration is also a huge part of being a bard. And you have like your jack of all trades and like those kind of things where you're just getting bonuses to your RP and non-combat scenarios kind of thing. In this subclass, I think one of the best things about it is I think like I said before, this is probably one of the best well-designed subclasses that Wizards has come out with in 5th edition. Just because it's very well-rounded. Like, it synergizes well within itself with your Silver Tongue, basically reliable talent, and then you're getting to be able to universal speech to speak to anything, so you can persuade anything.
Literally anything. Cool. You can persuade a fire elemental to help you in your cause.
And then getting, like, your whole point of your subclass is, well, not the whole point, but a big part of your subclass is Bardic Inspiration. You're basically doubling it, because if you use it on someone and then they succeed, then you can give someone else for free. You don't have to expend one of your die there. So it's just super synergistic. So we just went ahead and gave it a 5 as well. So it's quickly brand new, moving to probably the short list of one of the best subclasses.
It's definitely on that top tier. And again, we're rating these based on how well it builds off the thing. We're not saying this is the best subclass ever. It's in terms of the way it improves on a certain, the specific aspect of the support side of the bar, both in RP and in combat side of things, and very much, anytime you have a base class in any sort of game, this is what the class is kind of built around. Well, subclasses, specs, things like that, they're usually like to take one of the things they can do and really hammer that down, and that's what this subclass does, and does it very well. All the abilities tie in and make sense, and you feel like you're playing a very support focused, but you still feel like this is definitely a bard.
Yeah, for sure. It's very well made. It's just it feels very much bard.
Yes.
Like when you're playing it, everything. It's like people who play bards are usually very charismatic.
Yes.
Obviously with charisma, but also in real life. But they like to be like the face of the party kind of person. So they're liking to interact with NPCs and stuff, and being able to do your Bardic Inspiration. You're just gonna improve all of the best things about being a bard in this subclass. Just I love it. It's pretty great that they're able to create something this synergistic and RP focused while still having a pretty solid impact on combat, just because of how the base class of bard is initially created, I think. But I think that's going to wrap it up for this one, guys. So if you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications when our new videos come out. We're going to be doing more with this new Theros book that just came out, so stay tuned for that. There's actually some really cool stuff. I don't know how much we're going to get into, but they do have like mythic monsters, not legendary, mythic monsters that have special abilities. Once you trigger certain events and stuff, they gain extra abilities. Pretty cool.
I saw a glimmer in his eye when he told me about it. It makes me nervous.
It's pretty cool. But we're going to be diving into this book a little bit more, so stay tuned to the channel. Let us know if you have anything you want to see from us in the comments down below. If you've ever played it with a bard or as a bard, always love to hear your stories. Let us know. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.